Welcome back to the next video. In today's video I will show you how to integrate GraphQL's query and mutation in your React Native app using Apollo client. So first of all, I will just show you. So this is the mutation which I'm trying to integrate of adding one user. So if I just click on, so here I have one name, right? So if I just change the name to, I don't know, I guess Balaji, and if I try to hit send, so here you can see that Balaji was added, and the query which I will integrate is this one, which will help us to fetch me list of all the users. So if I just click on first query, sorry, so here you can see Balaji, which was added like the latest one, as well as all the users which are present inside our database already. Now I have already made a Node.js video. If you want to learn how to integrate, how to create this queries and mutation using Node.js, I have already have a video on that, so I won't explain it again. So I'll quickly show you the output for this. So firstly, I will show you the output on my on this iOS simulator. So output is very similar for Android as well. So here you can see in the list of all users, so currently it does not have Balaji because I'll just reload this. Okay, so I'll go over here, I'll reload this. Okay, why is it not reloading? Okay, so sorry, this is the Metro bundler. So here you can see Balaji was added. Now I will add something, some other name. So I don't know, maybe what is a okay, Chris, I guess. So this is the button. So Chris was added, which you can see over here. Now it was not immediately displayed inside the list because I had to refresh my list or refresh the app. So I'll just refresh the app as well, and here you can see Chris was added. The output is very similar on Android as well, that's why I'm not showing it on Android. So yeah, let's get started. The advantage is that this will work both on the old architecture as well as the new architecture. That's the advantage. Okay, wait, let me open my project first. File open, recent. So this is our project. So firstly, what you will have to do is you will have to go to your package.json file, and here I have added two dependency. One is the Apollo client and the second one is for GraphQL. Next inside our app.tsx, what I have done is that I am created this Apollo client. So here because I'm using my Node.js app is hosted locally, that's why I'm using localhost. And for Android I'm trying to run it on the real device. Like I didn't try on the Android emulator because localhost causes a lot of issues on the emulator. So that's why this is my IP colon port number. This is our port on which our Node.js app is running, so 4000. Similarly for iOS as well, /GraphQL. Cache is in memory cache, and if you want you can keep this, otherwise you can remove this as well. I think that's fine. Even if I remove this, it should work. So I'll just reload it just to show you, and I'll enter. So here you can see all the data, and if I try to enter some name again, click on press me. So yeah, name has been added. I'll just refresh this, and here you can see Kane has been added. Now so yeah, so here I'm just creating our client, so you can just delete all this garbage. And here depending on the how it is, so if you're trying, so for Android iOS I'm trying it on the simulator because I don't have a real device, that's why it is localhost. But I think if you're trying it on a real device and you haven't hosted your Node.js app on cloud, then you might have to enter your IP address as well. And here we are creating our context. So this will be help us to pass down the client from one component to another component. So I have created Apollo client, and I have passed the client to the Apollo provider, sorry, which I have imported from over here. So Apollo client in memory cache, Apollo provider as well, and I'm passing the client to this. Next, this is my component, is the component which I have created. So all it does is if you see first, it has added all the imports for GQL and use mutation. So first for mutation, I have literally copy pasted whatever I have shown you on the graphical interface. So I have just copy pasted my mutation. Now to use it, you will have to use the use mutation hook and pass the add user to this. Okay, and it will give you the add user method back, the data back, loading, or in case there is any error. And this use state I have taken for our text input. So on the button press, I'm just calling add user, and I'm passing all the required variables like the text input value, and for this I have just hard coded all these values. But if you want, you can create separate inputs for this, or separate inputs as well. And once the data is submitted, I am just using this use effect to log it to the console. But yeah, you don't really need this use effect. Also here I am logging it as well, so yeah, you can use either one of them, you don't have to use both. So I'll just remove this. Okay, use one of them, whatever makes sense to you. And here inside loading, once the data is submitted, if in case it is in loading state, I'm displaying a text called loading. If there is any error, then I'm displaying it inside text called error message. And this is our text input, which takes this text input value, as well as handle input change. And if you see handle input change, it just sets the text input value. And on button press, I'm just calling this handle button press, which calls the add user mutation. And here is my list, and if you see my list.tsx, here this is the GQL query which I have created. So again, this I have just copy pasted on the from the graphical interface, and you have to use the use query hook, which I have imported from Apollo client, and it gives you loading, error, or data. And if you see, this is a render item, I have used it inside my flat list. So if it is loading, display a text called loading. If error, display any text called error. If not, then display the flat list. And here you can see we are passing data.users, because if you see the output, it has data.users. For mutation, it is data.addUser. okay, so just be careful. Again, you can decide this, like in my node.js I have just added add user, that's why it's getting like this. Next, inside render item, I have just taken a view as well as a text element, and I'm just displaying the name. That's it. So yeah, that's it. Now the important part is, given that I'm using it on localhost for Android, what you will have to do, go to android manifest.xml, add the internet permission, as well as use clear text traffic. If you already have hosted your node.js app on a cloud, you don't need to do this, but mine is still on local. And for iOS, what you will have to do is, you will have to go to info.plist, and you will have to add this ns key transport security, ns app transport security, and ns allow arbitrary loads. So in case if you want to see as a property list, I'll show you that as well. So app transport securities allow arbitrary loads, yes. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.